Hello, Anthony. First of all, thank you very much for this time. First of all, I would like to ask you, how's been the process of being out for so long with an injury? How do you deal with this? What helps you during that process?
Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, it's never nice, playing with injury and then having to even sit out through injury. As players, we work so hard to look after ourselves that when your body's kind of not doing what you want it to do, it's horrible. But yeah, dealing with it, just being able to, speak to friends and family and keep myself upbeat as much as I can. Doing all the work I could to know that I was giving it everything I got to be back fit quick and just trying to enjoy myself with the spare time that I had.
How difficult it is to see the team from outside and knowing that you are not able to help in some way?
Yeah, it's one of the things I hate is that even though you're not in the conditions to help the team, still not being able to be out there and help, whether or not you're the one who's going to make the difference or not, it kind of makes you feel powerless, and you just want to be part of making the squad as strong as it can be and giving the team every chance and resource they have to do well.
Would you say that you are back on your 100% now?
I wouldn't say it's still kind of a work in progress. Injuries like the one I had are kind of they're complicated, they're up and down, but I'm definitely in a better spot than I was, and I'm doing a lot of work kind of off the pitch to make sure that I keep on top of it, and hopefully I just keep improving.
You love going one-to-one with players. It doesn't matter if it has to be defensive or attacking. So you have to pick a player that through the years you have been against one of the best in the world. So if you have to pick up one that you haven't faced but you would like to face, who will be that one? Active or retired? Well, active and retired.
Well, when I was younger, before I made it professionally, I always used to watch Messi and just think I wonder how I'd actually fare against him. And now I think probably the same thing that happens to everyone else who plays against him would have happened, but I'd have liked to have tested myself against him.
And if you have to pick up a retired player from the past?
A retired player, probably Iron Robin. Similar thing. It was when you become a pro and you realize players like that who, even though you know what they're going to do, they still do it. I'd like to kind of go up against someone that left-footed, that good at cutting in and shooting, and seeing if I could have actually handled that, or he would have done what he does to everyone.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, from the perspective of a full player, I guess you see Robin and from my perspective, you think, okay, he's gonna do that, like he always do that. But I guess from your perspective, it might be like, okay, can I try myself and try to stop him, because he's doing the same to everyone, but maybe I can stop him.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Fulham was so close to qualifying for Europe last season. I don't know if it's the same goal this season, and if that would be like the dream of the team to be able to go back to Europe after a few years.
It's really up there. Yeah, I mean, last season we broke our record points tally in the Premier League, which is a massive achievement for everyone involved. But being able to qualify for a European competition again, or win a trophy, they're kind of the two main goals. Obviously, we prefer to win a trophy, but I suppose you could call it a successful season if we could get into Europe and take the team back to where it's not been for a long time.
Do you have the feeling that Fulham overachieves every season? Because if you at the start of the season, you maybe, like many people, not many people thinks, okay, Fulham can be in Europe, because of budget, because of many reasons, because of the power of the Premier League and the top teams right now. Do you feel like every season you overachieve, you put yourself to the limit and do things that many people maybe don't expect from Fulham?
Not necessarily. I do get the point. I feel like you could maybe say in the first season we came back, we overachieved. I mean, not a whole lot of teams get promoted to the Premier League and finish in the top half like we did. So that was a bit of an overachievement. But when I look at the players that we've had and the quality in the squad that we've managed to get, even though, we're not like a City or an Arsenal who can spend billions, you have to be really careful in who you buy and how they develop and stuff. I look at the quality of our team, and I think, if we're not right where we need to be, we're always looking higher and higher in this season. At the minute, I think we're around 7th and pushing. We've been on a great run since December, so we're going to be eyeing up finishing as high in the table as we can and carrying on breaking records that we have done. And hopefully as well, we've still got the FA Cup to look forward to.
How is working with Marco Silva, how has helped you to develop your game? I feel like he's a coach and a manager that he gets the 100% of every player and maybe even more.
Yeah, he's definitely a coach and a manager. I mean, at a lot of clubs, you'll have kind of a staff member who's a coach, or you'll have a manager who kind of lets other staff members take the sessions, but they're kind of just organising the team. He likes to be really hands-on and control everything, and he's very good at managing individually. I've certainly found that, you know, times where I've needed him to leave me alone, times where I've needed him to pull me aside and tell me do this, this, and this, and get me back focused. He's been there for me in my career and believed in me, and I've played a lot of games under him, more than any other manager I've been with, and we have a very good relationship. And I think he's top.
How is Raul Jimenez as a teammate? Is there any kind of Mexico and USA rivalry with him, especially now that the World Cup is coming?
It's annoying with him because even before he signed for Fulham, playing against Mexico through the years, he was always kind of one of the Mexican players that he never really bothered me. Like, he's obviously a top player, but that kind of, you know, fierce rivalry that we have with them, not that he doesn't have that rivalry, but he just never really was as annoying as the other players could be. And then we sign him, and you see even more that, you know, he's such a nice guy. He's a great teammate to have, and players like him, you know, when he was in his prime, like at Wolves, you know, he's one of the best strikers in Europe for me, and going through a terrible injury, going through a bad spell of not scoring, coming here and kind of regathering his form, and whatever level he performs at, his effort and commitment to the team and how much he puts himself through for the team, that's the type of players I want to be playing with.
Being the host of the World Cup obviously is a big responsibility, so I'm not sure if it's more like a pressure or like a boost for yourself, or both.
I think it is both. I think it kind of is. It's what you make of it. Pressure can be the motivation for a lot of players. Certainly for myself, I like being under pressure and kind of thriving in them moments. So if the boys can use it as a boost, that'd be amazing. I don't think you're going to get much more motivation than playing on the world's biggest stage, the biggest sporting event probably ever, and it being in your home country. If that can't motivate you, then you need to find a different sport, I think.
In Qatar, I think you played every minute for the World Cup. How that is going to help you when you play the World Cup now? How that experience of already being in a World Cup, already knowing how it feels, how is that going to help you?
I feel like the kind of familiarity of already being in that situation, and the kind of the event, the moment of it all. At times when you stand there in the stadium, you kind of soak in, like, wow, I'm at a World Cup. When you've already done that, it kind of takes away from that sort of showcase, and you can just be like, right, I can just get down to business now. I'm motivated. I'm here, ready to go. So yeah, that sort of experience and familiarity with already being in a tournament like that and seeing how it works. And
did it change in some way your career when you play a World Cup for the first time? Does that change you in some way, or helps you development, or just obviously, I guess it's fulfilling a dream for every kid that plays football, but did it change your mind or change anything on you when you actually, after the World Cup?
For me personally, obviously it developed me. Like you said, it's a dream for every kid to be able to play in the World Cup, and it's something I achieved. And then going forward from there, you losing out on winning that trophy and watching other teams fighting for it, and that really is the pinnacle of football for me, is being able to win trophies and being able to compete at the highest level. So it motivates you to try and get the best out of yourself, so that you can play at the highest level. You can be trying to win trophies and be trying to succeed.
I guess in the season of the World Cup is always on the back of your mind. And speaking to other players the last 3-4 months, they always tell me, when I focus on my football team, I cannot be thinking about the World Cup. Do you think about it a lot? Do you ever, I don't know, how many times per day do you think, okay, we are playing a World Cup and I'm playing it at home and I'm playing in front of my people?
I think everybody's different. For me personally, just with the injuries I've had, I've not played a US game in over a year now. So personally for me, I've purely been focused on getting myself back fit and playing for the club, and it's always been in the back of my mind to be fit and be playing well so that I can get there. But in terms of thinking about, oh, I'm going to be playing there, there's no guarantee on my side that I'm going to be there. I need to be fit and get to March at least, play back with the team, and then go from there and hope that I've done enough through the season to get myself on that plane.
Is it more scary to get an injury on a World Cup season? Obviously, you never want to get injured, but is it more like, oh, how long I'm going to be out? is this going to keep me out of the World Cup? I'm not going to be ready for the manager, for the friendlies, for the preparation. Is that a bit more scary than usual, especially now that we are getting closer to it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. There's certainly a lot to lose if you do get injured, and there's injuries that can happen. Like, you can do everything right, you can prepare right, look after yourself, and someone can just trip you the wrong way and you get injured. Like, so you never know. It's not really something that you can prepare for. You've just got to go into every game looking after yourself and try and do the best you can. And we've seen kind of at the last World Cup, it was mid-season, so players, I think even more so, would have been a little bit more scared of injury. But the fact that the season's going to finish and there'll be a little bit of time before then, I think that gives everyone a bit of respite for it. But yeah, certainly one of the first reactions most players are going to have is, oh, this could affect the World Cup.
Pochettino insisted a lot of changing the culture of the football team, like changing from an American culture to a football culture. So I don't know what role do you play into that as someone who has grown up in England?
And yeah, it's a great question. I feel like just trying to shift the mentality, because I kind of get the pages on in terms of the American side of soccer and the rest of the world side of football. There's a lot of countries, England's one of them, but especially a lot of countries like your Brazils, Argentinas, where it's kind of the only game people play as kids. And in the States, it's pretty well known that it's expensive to play and it's not as available for everyone. So it's not at the forefront of sport, but the players are in that team. And with Poch, I think he just wants us to kind of treat it like the rest of the world would do when they play football, is that importance, that intensity, that fight, and sort of grit and determination that we may have lacked a little bit to kind of get that back, because we're a talented team. So if we've got that side of it, then we've got enough to win games as well.
I read an interview of you, I think a couple of years ago, just after Pochettino was hired, and you said something like fighting is something that we need because we are not the most talented team. So how has that changed, if he had changed, and how is that feeling of you have to fight for every game because of what you said?
I'd say, like I said, I've not been in camp a whole lot, so from the outside looking in, the team, we kind of went through a rough patch, and then it's really been positive since then, with so many different players changing in the squad, and guys who kind of weren't really in the roster getting the opportunities and proving I want to be here, I'll stake my claim, I'll fight for my place. And you see that with some of the results, like playing against Uruguay and beating them 5-1, I think it was. A lot of players are playing to prove themselves, and I think that's only going to keep getting better and better. And I'd still say we don't have the most talented team. When you look at some of the squads out there, your France's, your Spain's, they have more talent than us. So if you're going to offset that, then you have to be able to run over teams. You have to be able to fight teams, and tournament footballs, the games are one and done. So it's not always the most talented team wins. It's the team who wants it the most on the day.
What were your thoughts when the draw happens?
Exciting, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we have an easy or a hard draw. I think it's, if you look at the rankings of the teams, and we've played quite a few of the teams already previously, it's they're pretty balanced. So going into it, I mean, they're definitely, all games we'll see as we've got the potential to win them, but we know that the opponents are going to be thinking the same thing, and we'll treat every game with respect and try and win it. But yeah, there wasn't really a positive or a negative to the draw. It was just, right, this is who we can focus on beating them.
No, you have told me that you're focused on getting back to the team and getting back fit and getting back to fitness. But have you pictured in some point in that first match against Paraguay, your teammates, you, the national anthem, your people on the stands, have you already pictured that image in your head?
No, but now that you've said it, it sounds quite nice, and I'll probably picture that later.
Well, thank you, Ms. Anthony. It was a pleasure.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.